Barnaby Jones, starring Buddy Ebsen, also starring Lee Merriweather, with guest stars Bradford Dillman, Joel Fabiani, Patty McCormick, special guest star Mariette Hartley. Tonight's episode, Image in a Cracked Mirror.
You know, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. You're calme dans la bouche d'un canon. Calm in the mouth of the cannon, to quote Napoleon.
I'm sure he was talking about a battle, not a wedding.
Yeah, he was. Waterloo. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear you had a lot of practice at this.
Oh, it's the first time around.
Well, gotta be a first time for everything. You sure you can get along without me?
I'll try, but I thank you for the encouraging words.
That's what a best man is for.
Hello.
Hello, my love. I have a marvelous idea. Let's elope.
I'll go get a ladder.
You better make it a tall one. I'm on the 10th floor.
How did you manage to get to a telephone?
Oh, I locked myself in the bedroom.
Oh, Vanessa.
Daddy, I'll be right out. I'll be right out.
Yep.
I just wanted to tell you that I love you and I'll make you the most marvelous wife in the world.
Vanessa.
Oh, Daddy's waiting, honey. I love you. Bye-bye.
Yes?
Aren't you going to invite me in, Ben?
I'm sorry. I think you've made some mistake.
I don't think so. You've lost a little weight, Ben.
What? My name is Charles, Dr. Charles Kohlmeyer.
But you've gained a title. You were just an engineer when I knew you in Portland. Oh, isn't this pretty? A gift from your bride, no doubt. Do you remember what I gave you the day we were married?
Madam, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about being made a fool of. I'm talking about the fact that you and I were married in Portland less than a year ago. And that you disappeared a month later with $50,000 in negotiable bonds that belonged to me. Now, you were good, Ben, but not that good.
This is incredible. I'm telling you, you're making a mistake.
Oh, I made a mistake. Trusting you with those bonds.
Look, for your information, up until 6 months ago, I was in the jungles of New Guinea.
Yes, I had been there for over a year studying the children of primitive tribes. I'm a child psychologist. Now, what is this? Is this some kind of a joke?
This is no joke. If you knew how hard it was to face up to the truth, that you could leave me just like that. At first, I thought of going to the police, but of course my pride wouldn't let me do that. I mean, how do you admit to your family and your friends that you've been made a fool of? So I decided to find you all by myself.
Okay, that's it.
I better call the manager.
I looked everywhere for you, Ben. And then I remembered how particular you were about your shirts. How you had them specially made by Regala of Rome and sent to his shop in San Francisco. So I checked with the manager. And he told me that, in fact, you had recently ordered one for your wedding. The one you're wearing now, n'est-ce pas?
Lisa, what is it you want? Is it the money?
Oh,
Huh?
no. You never did understand anything, did you? It wasn't the money I wanted. It was you. I loved you.
All right, then. I know we can work it out.
No. I think it's too late for that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to find your bride, and I'm going to tell her the truth about you.
Lisa. Lisa.
Let go of me, Ben!
Lisa, I can't let you ruin this for
Going
me.
downstairs. Get out of my way!
Quiet. Listen, let go of you. Be quiet. Oh, Lisa. Lisa, please. Operator, would you connect me with the luggage shop, please? Yes, this is Dr. Charles Kohlmeyer. I'd like to order a steamer trunk.
Yeah. Any minute now, ladies.
Now, where's that future son-in-law, Miles?
Oh, he still has a few minutes.
I better see what's keeping him.
Oh, Mr. Stevenson. Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah?
Why not let him enjoy these few minutes of peace and quiet? They may be his last.
Maybe you're right.
That's fine, right here. No, I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
I want you to come back here in 1 hour and be sure that this is sent COD, the express office in Sun Valley. Can you do that for me?
I'll do it for you.
Here's the address.
Thank you, sir. Sir, good luck.
I don't know why I'm so nervous.
Well, Miss McLean, perhaps you haven't had many dealings with private investigators.
You're right, Mr. Jones. This is my first time.
Well, there's your answer. Well, since we've solved that, let's see if we can solve some of your other problems. You say your husband has been missing for 5 months.
Yes, he disappeared about 3 weeks after we were married.
Did you go to the police?
No.
Why not?
My husband's a lawyer, you see. He practices in Independence, where we live, and... Well, he warned me from the very beginning that his work took him away quite a bit, and that he could be gone for very long periods.
Go on, Miss McLean.
Well, when I hadn't heard from him for quite a while, I had to go to the bank, and I checked my safety deposit box, and my jewels were missing.
How much were your jewels worth?
Oh, about $65,000. Mr. Jones, I don't want to go to the police. See, they might think Jeffrey took them.
And you're sure he didn't?
Well, if he did, I'm sure he had a good reason. One that I could understand and forgive. If I could just find him.
Miss McLean, what makes you feel that your husband is in this area?
A picture I saw in the Independence Chronicle. It was taken here in Los Angeles, and it shows a man helping a woman out of a fountain. I'm almost positive that man is Jeffrey.
Must have been taken during a heat wave.
You're almost positive that this man is your husband.
Well, Jeffrey has a mustache and his sideburns are longer. But aside from that... Mr. Jones, will you please help me find him? I love him.
Would you look?
You like it?
Do I like it? It's beautiful. But when did you find the time to do this?
Well, those afternoons that you couldn't reach me, I was talking to the decorator. Promised to have it ready by the time we got back from our honeymoon. It's your wedding present.
You know something? I don't deserve you.
I agree 100%. However, love is blind, and to the victor belongs the spoils. Congratulations, Charles.
Thank you.
I would have been at the wedding, but I hate to see a grown man cry, especially myself.
We missed you.
Like a dog misses fleas.
No, we did, really, and you're going to have to make it up to us by coming to dinner tonight. All right? Nothing fancy, just a few close friends.
Well, if you put it that way, how can I refuse?
You can't.
Oh, by the way, Charles, I wonder if you take a look at this case history for me. It's one of my female patients, but in some ways it's right up your alley. I am sure you'll find it interesting.
Well, yes, I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
8 o'clock?
Fine. I'll see you tonight.
Good.
Marshal Chapman's here, Doctor.
Oh, just give me a moment, please. Well, honeymoon's over.
Oh, no. You're wrong, Doctor. It's just beginning. Don't be late.
Okay, honey, good. Hold it. Good. Give me some more profile. That's good. Good, terrific. Good, a little bit more. That's good. Come toward me. Good girl. Good. That's it. Hold on to that. Good. Oh, that's wonderful. Hold that, hold that. Work on that, work on that. That's good. That's fabulous. Okay, honey, let's go. Why don't you get out that schmata,
Interesting the way they take all those poses.
Hi, Mr. Jones. That's why they're called models.
Why they look so angry?
Well, this is high fashion. More expensive the outfit, the angrier the model.
I guess the way this young lady is smiling, this bikini must cost next to nothing.
Oh, is this the photograph you wanted to see me about?
Yeah, the paper said you took it.
Yeah, that's right. Not bad, huh? Seems she had this impulsive urge to cool off.
And you just happened to come by with your camera.
Well, okay, it was posed.
What about the man?
No, that part was impulsive. He just stepped out of the crowd and gave her his hand.
Oh, and you know who he was?
Never saw him before.
Could he have been a friend of the model?
It's very possible. They usually have a lot of friends.
If I wanted to find her, how would I go about it?
Well, you could try Bernice's modeling agency. Just show Bernice the picture.
Thanks.
It was a perfectly marvelous honeymoon, except for the night that Charles sneaked out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he said he was going away on business, but I think he just got tired of my company. He was gone for nearly 4 hours.
You better explain yourself, Charles.
Well, there was some mix-up at at the express office about a piece of luggage that I had sent up. And you know, on the way back to the lodge, I managed to get the car stuck in a snowdrift. I nearly froze to death trying to shovel that thing out.
Oh, no wonder she doesn't believe you. Where did you find a shovel, Charles?
Well, it was a rental car. There was a shovel in the trunk.
Oh.
It's the truth, so help me. You believe me, don't you, darling?
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Spare a few minutes, Charles?
Yeah, sure. Come on, we'll go on the deck.
Why don't we toast our lovely hostess?
Oh,
Yes, Steve.
Charles, I was hoping you had time to look over that case history I left you.
Yes, I did. And I found it very interesting, too. David, would you like a cigar?
No, thank you. I've been seeing her for almost 3 years now. And as you saw in the report, she's made excellent progress.
Yes, she has. Excellent.
And yet I just can't seem to help her over this terrible fear she has that someone's going to take her child away from her. Now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
The child?
No, the woman. But, Charles, I know you must be familiar with the work of your friend, Leslie Krebs.
Yes, of course.
And you buy Krebs's theory of the parent-child relationship?
No. No, I don't. Not totally. And I've even told him that. However, I think that in time, Krebs is going to alter his attitude toward adolescent compensation.
He's going to. Sure. Krebs is dead. No. No, I didn't know that. That must have happened while I was in New Guinea. But you were in New Haven last spring, weren't you? I was, but, well, that's when it happened. Krebs died in April. Now, surely you must have heard. I understood the two of you were very good friends. I was out of touch for a few weeks, preparing for my return, but, no, I just can't understand how I missed it. I don't either. Well, it's sad. However, David, I think you and I ought to go back and join the others. One must not ignore a new bride. That's the first law of marital psychology, Doctor.
Oh, yeah, that's me. But I really don't like doing that kind of work, you know?
I bet you're an actress.
How did you know? Did you see me in Feet of Death?
I'm afraid I missed that one.
Oh, that's too bad. I had a featured part in that one. I played a karate expert. That's why I like to keep in shape. You know, you never know when a good part's gonna come along. Are you in the business?
I'm in the private detective business. My name is Barnaby Jones.
Oh. Well, what'd you want to see me about?
The man in this picture, you a friend of yours?
Oh, yeah, Chuck. Sure, I remember him.
Chuck. You don't have to remember his last name.
Dickens. Chuck Dickens.
Chuck Dickens. Well, that would make his Christian name Charles. Charles Dickens?
Hey, yeah. That's the same as that famous inventor, isn't it?
Charles Dickens was a writer.
Screenwriter?
Now, I think he had his work done by the time the movies came along, but a couple of his books made it.
Oh. I knew he was in show business.
What does Chuck do for a living?
Well, he was the kind of guy that asked a lot of questions. But he didn't give many answers. It's funny how much he learned about me, but I swear I hardly knew him.
Have you seen him lately?
No, not after that day at the fountain. We had lunch, and then he took me home, and that was it. To tell you the truth, he did ask to see me again, but I turned him down.
Any particular reason?
I had a feeling he was conning me, and he was really married, even had children.
What makes you say that?
Well, on the way back to my place, we stopped at this toy store in Beverly Hills, and he picked up a whole bunch of toys. Now, who else do you buy toys for except for your children?
Remember the name of the toy store?
No. I mean, who bothers to remember the name of a toy store? Oh, excuse me. I'm expecting a call from my agent. Yeah? Huh? Oh, yeah. Just a minute. It's for you.
Sorry. Thanks. Yes?
Barnaby, you have no idea the number of legal organizations I've contacted trying to locate Mr. McLean, including the Bar Association and about a dozen attorney referral services. I struck out with every one of them.
I believe you, Betty, but I also have the feeling that you've located him.
Well, we are what we read, Barnaby. And lawyers read the American Legal Journal, including Jeffrey Allen McLean. I contacted their subscription department. They gave me his address. It's in Phoenix, Arizona.
Book me on the first flight out to Phoenix. I'll see you in a few minutes.
David!
I was at the bar and I saw you sitting here.
Well, I'm having lunch with Charles. Please sit down.
Well, just for a minute. Well, here's to happiness.
That's the saddest toast to happiness I think I've ever heard. Something wrong?
I don't know. Vanessa, what do you know about Charles?
He's my husband.
Yes. But what do you really know about him? I mean, up until a few months ago, you didn't even know he existed.
Well, you hadn't introduced me to him yet.
I didn't know him myself until he moved into the building. And if I thought you were going to fall in love with him, I wouldn't have introduced you at all.
Oh, David, that's what's bothering you.
Maybe that's part of it. Now, there's more, though. Listen, from everything I've been able to learn, Charles was devoted to his research on the primitive children of New Guinea. Now, he used to go into the jungle and stay there for years at a time.
So?
So why this sudden change? From a jungle in New Guinea to a fancy office in Beverly Hills, treating children whose idea of roughing it is camping out in the backyard next to the pool. Now, it doesn't make sense.
Maybe I can explain it to you, David.
Hi.
Hi. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's okay. We're having a terrific time here.
Oh, say, would you bring me a scotch and soda? Anyone else?
No.
Okay. Now, to answer your question, David, it's really quite simple. After 10 years of living in the jungles of New Guinea, I thought it was time to go to work. Time to put my theories to the test. You know yourself, research doesn't mean a thing unless it's got some kind of practical application. And I'm here to tell you that a lot of the things that I learned from my so-called primitive children have proved invaluable with my more civilized patients. As for the fancy office, well, after spending all those years in a thatch hut, I thought I'd like to see how the other half was living.
I should have known better than to ask. Touché. And enjoy your lunch.
I think I detect a severe case of jealousy.
Oh, that's a brilliant diagnosis, Doctor. I don't think it's fatal.
By the way, I've got a surprise for you. We've been invited to a very fancy dinner party next week. Oh. They're the parents of one of my young patients. Now, they're very socially prominent, so you're going to have to go out and buy yourself a brand new dress for the occasion.
Oh, well, you don't have to twist my arm. If you want, I can even flaunt my fancy heirloom necklace.
What necklace?
The one my grandmother gave me. I will. The next time I'm in town, I'll go to the safety deposit box.
Sure, if you like.
Well, why not? As my grandmother said, what's the point of having a $300,000 emerald necklace if you can't flaunt it?
You decided what you'd like to order?
I haven't had time to look.
Well, I know what I want.
Excuse me, but I'm looking for a Mr. McLean. Lady up the house said I'd find him down there at the stable.
Yeah, I'm McLean.
Oh, Jeffrey Allen McLean?
That's right.
McLean, I'm looking for is a lawyer.
Well, so far you're batting 1,000. Only I'm a lawyer turned cowboy. I haven't practiced in several years, and my ulcers haven't missed a single day of it. Come on.
You practice in Independence, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 100 miles from there. A little place called Eastfield. What's this all about, anyway?
My name is Barnaby Jones. I'm a private investigator. I was hired to locate a man named Jeffrey Allen McLean.
Huh?
But you're not the right one.
What do you mean, just a coincidence?
Whole barrel full of them.
Thank you.
You familiar with the man in this picture?
Well, I'm not sure. There's something about this guy, though. And there was a guy. Now, but this other fellow had a mustache, and he had longer sideburns. About a year ago, a guy approached me. He wanted me to buy, some oil stock. His name was Fillmore, and I remember this guy, because the stock looked pretty good, you know, but there was just something about him that, I don't know, just didn't.
What particular way?
Well, I don't know, just a feeling I had about the guy. He was just too friendly. You know what I mean by that? He was very curious about my background, about my personal life. You know, he just asked a lot of questions. Kind of like you there, Mr. Jones.
That's all in a day's work. What kind of questions did he ask you?
Like some water?
No, thanks.
For the most part, he wanted to know about my law practice. Where did I practice? He wanted to know when I practiced. If I still had any associations back there, that sort of thing.
That's very interesting, because about a year ago, a man of the same description started a law practice in Independence under the name of Jeffrey Allen McLean.
Is that right? Well, that explains that.
Explains what?
You want to hear something funny? A few nights after I turned this guy down, somebody broke into my den one night.
They take anything?
Yeah. They stole a gold pen and pencil set, and I had a pistol on the wall, a little antique pistol. They got that. But they got a couple of things that I couldn't understand why anybody would even be interested in them.
Your law school diploma.
That's exactly right. That and a certificate to practice law in the state of Missouri.
You know, I can't tell you how much Jim has improved since he's been coming to see you, Doctor. He's so much more confident now, and he doesn't get into fights anymore.
Understanding and patience, Mrs. Rumford. I just sit and listen. Believe me, Jim does all the rest.
You know, you're too modest.
Well, perhaps I make a suggestion now and then. After all, I have to do something to earn my fee.
Jim, come here. Jim, come here. Well, goodbye. It's been a long day.
Yes, for both of us. Why don't you go on home?
I'll just put this back on your desk.
What is it?
Your diploma. Dr. Bellman stopped by today while you were out to lunch and wanted to know what university you graduated from. I wasn't sure, so I checked your diploma.
Did he say what he wanted to know for?
No, but I didn't think you'd mind.
Oh, of course not.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
This is Dr. David Bellman. I'd like to speak to the Dean of Men. Yes, I'll wait. Hello. Oh, he's not. Well, do you know what time he will be there? I see. Well, I wanted to talk to him about a past student of his there, Dr. Charles Kohlmeyer. Yes. Yes, I see. All right. I'll call back in the morning then.
Your interest in me is most flattering, David.
I'm just a little curious.
Curious? About what?
Whether you're for real or not.
I'm for real.
But you're not Charles Kohlmeyer. That much I'm sure of.
What's in a name?
Who are you?
Anything that benefits me to be. Engineer, stockbroker, lawyer, child psychologist. But I keep forgetting, David, you wouldn't understand that, would you? Because you've spent your whole life becoming one thing. I believe it's called dedication. I have my dedication too, David. Only it's the good life. Having the best of everything. Leaving the leftovers to people like you.
How long did you think you could get away with this?
Long enough to get what I wanted.
and then move on to greener fields. Move on.
You know, in the course of my travels, I met the real Charles Kohlmeyer.
Was he, doll? All he could talk about was going back to his beloved jungles. He even told me when he was leaving and when he was going to be back. And I thought, well, since he isn't going to be using civilization for 2 years, why not use it for him?
You're a very sick man.
Wrong! I just listened to a different drummer. And David, I can't let you change any of that for me.
Operator?
Help! My name is Dr. David Bellman. There's been an accident. I drove my car off the road. Nichols Road. Nichols near a Sunrise Crest. Get me an ambulance. Please. Hurry. Please.
Hello? Hello, this is the operator. Hello? 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 Operator, this is the operator.
Walks a little bit like my cousin Fred back in Tennessee. That's after he's gotten into Cousin Buell's corn liquor.
You say so. Something I can help you with?
Well, I certainly hope so. About to run out of toy stores. Ever seen a man in this picture?
Why?
Well, I'm a private investigator, and a loving member of his family hired me to locate him. Seems they lost touch.
Looks a lot like Dr. Kohlmeyer.
Dr. who?
Dr. Kohlmeyer, the child psychologist. He buys toys here to keep in his office for his patients.
Would you happen to have his address?
Sure. He has a charge with us. Yeah, here it is. 3722 Armand Drive.
I can't believe it. I mean, we just saw him yesterday.
I know what you mean. According to the papers, he managed to call an ambulance, and maybe if those people had gotten there sooner. I don't know. You know, sometimes I think that life in the jungles is a lot safer after all.
Dr. Kohlmeyer, there's a gentleman to see you, a Mr. Jones.
Did he say what he wanted?
No, sir.
Listen, why don't you try to get some rest? I won't be long.
Dr. Kohlmeyer, I'm Barnaby Jones. I feel kind of like the football player that ran 80 yards for a touchdown in the wrong direction.
What is it you want?
Well, I'm a private investigator, and I was hired to find a missing husband.
I see. Well, what has that got to do with me?
Well, my client saw this picture in the paper, and she thought, well, that is you in the picture, isn't it?
Yes, but...
But you're not my client's husband. That's what I mean when I speak of running the wrong way. My client's husband's name is Jeffrey McLean. He's a lawyer from Independence.
Then why are you here talking to me?
Well, mostly to satisfy my client. You see, she's almost positive that the man in the picture and her husband are one and the same.
Well, I can assure you, Mr. Jones, she's very mistaken.
Well, that's what I tell her. But were you ever in Independence, Doctor?
No, I'm afraid not. And I'm certainly not a lawyer. I'm a child psychologist. And before moving to Los Angeles, I spent most of my time on the East Coast and in New Guinea. However, if you'd like some proof of that.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be necessary.
Well, then, if you have no other questions, Mr. Jones, I'm really very busy today.
Well, thank you. I understand. And I'm sorry I've taken up so much of your time.
We all have our jobs to do.
Miss McLean, is that your husband?
It looks like him. I'm not sure. If I could just get a closer look.
You feel up to going inside?
Oh, thank you. I'll order in a few minutes, Tony.
Jeffrey? I've missed you so much.
Jeffrey, I'm afraid that there's been some mistake.
I was so worried about you. I kept thinking that worst possible things had happened to you. An accident, or maybe you were dead.
Ma'am, I think you got me confused with someone else.
Jeffrey, you remember the night you asked me to marry you?
No, I don't. No, my name's Charles.
Remember, you promised to love me and to take care of me for the rest of my life. And I said, that's a better deal than I had just gotten on my new car. We laughed. Jeffrey, you made me feel so beautiful. You made me feel so wanted.
I don't know what to tell you, Mrs.
McLean. Angie McLean. Now, I'm your wife.
Do you really believe that, Mrs. McLean?
What?
Now look at me. Can you be certain that I'm your husband? Do we have the same face? Or the same eyes, or the same hair? Do we act the same? I'm very sorry, Mrs. McLean. You're a pretty woman and you flatter me, but on my honor, I'm not your husband. I've never seen you before in my life.
It's all right. Was that your husband in the restaurant?
I think so.
Would you swear to that in court? You may have to.
He seems so different.
Ms. McLean, would you swear that was your husband?
No.
Hello?
Vanessa, where have you been? I've been calling all over.
Well, I've been shopping. I just got home. Is something wrong?
Well, something's come up. I have to go to New York this afternoon.
Oh, why?
Well, there's a convention of psychologists there. I wasn't going to go, but one of the speakers became ill, and they asked me to take his place. I don't know. I suppose that it's quite an honor.
Well, how long will you be gone?
The convention lasts a week, but Vanessa, I'd like you to come with me.
You've talked me into it.
Good. We'll probably be going some very nice places. You want to take along your best things?
I was just on my way to pick up my necklace.
Good. I tell you what, I have some work to do here. So why don't you pack our suitcases? I'll meet you at the airport, and you can pick up the necklace on the way.
All right, what time shall I meet you?
The plane leaves at 4, Global International.
I'll be there. I love you.
Love you, too.
Here's our marriage license, Mr. Jones.
Good. Now we'll be able to see how the McLean signature on the license compares with the Kohlmeyer signature that Betty got from the toy store.
Well, Betty, maybe I better have a talk with the Kohlmeyer maid. Why don't you call and find out when is her day off?
Are you going to use your charm to find out the family secrets?
Just make the call.
Yes, sir.
He was obviously trying to disguise his handwriting. But there are similarities in these two E's. Same height, same slant.
That proves he's my husband.
Well, I'm no expert, but I know where I can find one.
Barnaby, I just talked to the Kohlmeyer maid.
Yes?
Well, according to her, Charles Kohlmeyer is scheduled to leave for New York on a 4 o'clock plane.
What about his wife?
She left 15 minutes ago to be with her husband at the airport.
What's that boarding call?
We have plenty of time. Besides, it's kind of nice to rest after running around like crazy all day.
Did you get that from your safety deposit box?
Do you think I'd forget it? You want to see it?
Passengers for Global International's Flight 361 to New York City may now board at Gate 12.
It's us.
Mrs. Charles Kohlmeyer, please come to the white courtesy phone. Mrs. Charles Kohlmeyer.
Let's pretend we didn't hear it.
But we have time. It may be important.
Vanessa.
This is Mrs. Kohlmeyer. Dad, oh, I'm so glad you got my message. I just wanted to say goodbye and to thank you again for a wonderful time.
Looks like we timed it just about right.
Yes. Yes, my plane leaves in just a few minutes.
See, it's just a coincidence. Come on, let's go.
Oh, Dad, I love you too. Yeah, I'll write you from New York.
Vanessa.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me. Sorry to butt. Are you Mrs. Kohlmeyer?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny because that's our name, too.
Really?
Could we be related?
Well, perhaps. My husband's name is Charles Kohlmeyer.
Well, it certainly is a small world. Hey, come on, dear, we'll miss the plane.
He's a doctor, a child psychologist. He's flying in from New Guinea to meet me in New York.
Charles?
It's really very funny. Who put you up to this?
No, I'm not joking. He does research there with children from primitive tribes. Actually, we were just married there a few months ago, and we didn't have much time for a honeymoon, so we're going to make up for it in New York.
It's all over.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
Hi.
Hi.
Betty told me I'd find you here.
Yes. Well, we thought we'd get together and talk. We seem to have so much in common.
Mr. Jones, did you learn anything about it?
Yes, quite a bit. His real name is Stanley Ricklin. He spent some time in prison about 7 years ago. While he was there, he worked as an orderly in a psychiatric ward and also spent a great deal of time reading books. Books on psychology and law.
Were there others?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. The woman from Portland, her maiden name was Lisa Howard. They found her buried in Sun Valley. He admitted to murder. You two are the lucky ones.
Barnaby Jones. Starring Buddy Ebsen. Also starring Lee Merriweather. With guest star James Olson. Tonight's episode, Catch Me If You Can.
Hey, Barnaby. I didn't know who it was at first. You're not working on Saturday, are you?
Well, 2 days rest always makes me feel like a loafer. I'm on my way up to the office, pick up some papers, fly up to San Francisco, wrap up a case. You don't look like you're exactly on the way to go fishing yourself.
Haven't got the time.
You're really taken to this private detective work, haven't you, Eddie?
Well, I won't lie to you, Barnaby, and tell you I don't miss the force, but... well, a man's got to finish what he started. And I'm this close to finishing.
You're not still after that butterfly killer.
Barnaby, I'm breathing right down his neck. It's just like the department psychiatrist said. He wants to get caught.
Eddie.
That's why he keeps writing me those notes, to keep me on the track. Well, this time he went too far. One note too many, Barnaby, and I'm going to nail him with it.
You know, it's too bad you're so tied up. I had to turn down a case yesterday, been right up your alley. Say, maybe I can still...
Thanks, Barnaby. Maybe in a week or so, I'll give you a call to go fishing.
Sounds good. Don't forget it.
Right. Yes, operator. I'd like the number for Gene Merrick. M-E-R-R-I-C-K. In West L.A. Brentwood area, I think. I'll be with you in a minute. 4757. Thank you. Come in. It's about a case. I can't take anything new right now. But I know a good man, Barnaby Jones.
I didn't come here to hire a private detective. I came to get one off my back. That last clue I sent you, it worries me. I went too far. This typewriter says that you figured it out.
You're the one.
That's right. And I'm not ready to end the game.
I'll get it, Mary. Oh, thank heavens. Mary's been asking for you.
Barnaby, I'm so glad you're here.
I came down from San Francisco as soon as I got Betty's call.
Thank you. You knew Eddie so well, Barnaby.
We went back a lot of years.
I know what people are saying, that everything was going downhill for him lately. But that's not true, not entirely. Maybe he was depressed about his work, but not his life. You too saw the garden.
It's beautiful as ever.
Eddie worked in the garden Saturday morning, just as he did every Saturday.
I saw Eddie Saturday. He was on the way to his office.
What did he say?
He said he was close to nailing the butterfly killer.
He was, and he had reason to be.
Why do you say that?
It's a feeling I have, Barnaby. You live with a man most of your life, you can sense when things are going right for him. Eddie was on to something. I know it.
You know something? I'm inclined to agree with you. I think this time Eddie was close. Too close.
Do you think the killer found out and murdered him?
It's a possibility.
Barnaby, I have some savings. Find out what really happened. Prove it wasn't suicide.
I intend to. But I'm going to hire myself on this one. Just like with Eddie, it's become a personal matter.
Didn't they find her body in a vacant lot somewhere?
Yes, she'd gone to a costume party the night before dressed as Madame Butterfly.
That's right, I remember. The newspapers picked it up and labeled the murderer the butterfly killer. Did you find anything?
Yes. Some of those taunting notes the killer sent Eddie when he first took charge of the investigation. I will turn myself in, but I want to watch you cops chase me a little longer. I've changed my mind. She deserved to die. This game is becoming a bore. Catch me if you can.
What kind of a man does something like this?
A very dangerous one. Eddie must have started this folder last June when he retired from the force.
I wonder what became of those notes.
When I saw Eddie Saturday, he said that the killer had gone a little too far. He'd send one note too many and Eddie was going to nail him with it. The killer probably took that note along with the rest of them from this folder. Betty, let's get all of Eddie's papers together. Take them over to the office. Let's see if we can't find something that resembles an appointment. Betty, did you find a pair of scissors or a knife in there?
No. Why?
According to the police report, Eddie hung himself with a cord from this lamp.
So?
What did he cut it with?
For if a dedication to duty is the hallmark of a great man, then Edward Lawrence Wheelock sleeps among giants, at peace with his final reward. For as much as the spirit of our brother departed hath entered in life immortal, we therefore commit his body to its resting place. May he dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
He was a fine officer, Mary.
Mary.
Be in touch with you, Mary. Lieutenant. Lieutenant, when your boys went through Eddie's office, did they find a knife or scissors?
No, why?
I'm just trying to make some sense out of something that's pretty senseless.
Barnaby, Mary told me you were looking into Eddie's death. Want some professional advice?
That's the best kind.
Accept the coroner's verdict, death by suicide. Bury this whole tragic episode right here. This is a good place for it.
I wish I could. But I'm afraid to bury the truth. It's got a way of coming back and haunting you.
One hamburger with all the trimmings coming right up. Oh, Barnaby, what you really need is a good night's sleep.
No, what I really need is a crystal ball. Try to make some sense out of this mess.
Nothing?
As far as I can decipher, Eddie had one appointment all last week with Gene Merrick.
Do you know him?
He was Eddie's prime suspect in the slaying until Merrick was completely exonerated. I wonder why he went to see Merrick.
I almost forgot. A special delivery letter came for you while I was downstairs.
Who from?
I don't know. There's no return address. What is it?
Note. Catch me if you can.
I don't understand, Mr. Jones. The newspapers said that Eddie Wheelock's death was a suicide.
They also predicted rain for today, Mr. Merrick.
Well, you realize that Wheelock wasn't one of my favorite human beings.
Yeah, according to the reports, he gave you a pretty rough time during the initial investigation.
Rough, he got it into his head that I was the butterfly killer.
Well, you were the last one known to have seen the girl alive.
Look, I only walked her to the car when she left the party, period.
According to the reports, you were also having an affair with her, Mr. Merrick. One she intended to break off unless you divorced your wife.
Yeah, Wheelock really worked over that little fact, didn't he?
Eddie Wheelock was a good cop. He was working on a tough case. He was also a fair cop. He later exonerated you.
But my wife didn't. Shortly after the news of my relationship with Linda became known, she filed for divorce. And now I only see my kids on weekends.
I'm sorry about that, but you really can't blame Eddie for your indiscretions. He was just after the truth. He wanted to find Linda Barr's killer.
Look, I'm a little busy. What do you want to know?
Eddie came to see you last week. What about?
A note or something he got from the killer? Killer said he was at the company costume party the night Linda was murdered. Wheelock wanted to know if I could give him a list of everyone at the party.
Could you?
Not right away, but my secretary finally gave him one.
Any chance you might have a copy?
A good one. She's very efficient.
I'd like to see it.
Here's the list, Mr. Jones. You may keep it if you wish.
You're very efficient. You even listed the costumes everyone wore.
Well, as best I could.
Eddie Wheelock must have asked for this, too.
Yes, he did. How did you know?
I'm a detective. Thank you very much. Oh, what photographer did you use for the party?
We always use the Kenton Studios.
Kenton Studio. Thank you.
Mr. Stone! These are to be processed right away, or
whatever it is you and your machines do with them.
You make it sound like we're one and the same.
No. It's just that, well, this is where you spend so much of your time. I don't know how you do it. Computers seem so complicated to me.
They puzzle a lot of people. But I like puzzles.
Mr. Jones, you're the second person in 2 weeks that's asked to see the proofs of that costume party.
Was the first one named Eddie Wheelock?
Yeah, I believe it was. Said he was investigating that butterfly case.
Mr. Kenton, why is this picture smaller than the others, like a piece of it's been cut off?
Because it has. Mr. Wheelock asked if he could cut off one of the people in it.
Which one?
Tell you the truth, I didn't even notice. I just handed him the scissors.
Now, these two pictures seem to be the same group.
Same group, slightly different angle.
Except this one, there's a tiger missing. You look for yourself.
Mr. Wheelock must have cut the tiger off.
According to this list, there wasn't even a tiger at the party.
Yes, hold on.
Any luck on the costume?
It seems most companies don't keep records past 6 months. I'm talking to Mardi Gras costumes right now. Do you think this really might be the killer?
Good possibility. Uninvited guest. Name wasn't on the party list. The police couldn't check him out. And there must be some reason why Eddie wanted this picture.
Yes. You do? Well, Mr. Jones will be down in a few minutes to talk to you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Forbes. Right. Bye-bye. Mardi Gras has a tiger costume that sounds like the one you're looking for.
I'm back here.
Oh, it's you.
You remember me.
I never forget a face or a costume that goes with it. Besides, you're very popular lately.
Popular?
A man came in last week asking about that tiger suit you rented. He had a picture of it and wanted to know your name. I'm not very good at remembering names, so I told him I'd have to check in the back files, and I'd get in touch with him later.
Did you ever get back to him?
I've been calling him for the last few days, but his line's disconnected. And just a few minutes ago, a woman phoned, calling about the same thing. She said a Mr. Jones was going to stop by to see me.
The woman that called, did you give her my name?
I just told her we had a tiger costume like the one she described.
Where's the rental card now?
Right here in the desk. Here it is. Stone, Mr. Randall Stone. What's it all about, anyway?
you wouldn't understand. But you must believe I'm sorry
Sorry about what?
that you've become part of the game.
I don't understand. Please, don't. Please, please, no. No, no, no.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Mrs. Forbes.
Oh, she's probably on her lunch break. Take the elevator to the 4th floor and just call out.
Thank you. Miss Forbes! You hear, Miss Forbes? Miss Forbes?
Who is it?
It's me, Randall.
The rent's on the table.
I didn't come up for that reason, Randall. Not as long as I'm here. I'll just take the check, and you can use the envelope for something else. You were up early this morning, Randall. I heard you go out and get the newspaper. Guess you couldn't sleep, huh? I know how that is. Believe me, ever since my husband died, I find it harder and harder to sleep at night. I think it has something to do with being alone so much of the time. Don't you, Randall? I mean, we're both alone so much.
I'm late for work, Stella.
Oh, I see you've already done today's crossword puzzle. It's amazing how fast you do them. I bet it's because you used to know all about those different languages from when you taught at college. Randall, did you read about the murder at the Mardi Gras Costume Company? Oh, poor woman. I bet some creep just probably felt like killing somebody and she was around. And do you know, I bet he's just some normal-looking guy you wouldn't even look at twice. The type that fades into the woodwork. Don't you think so, Randall?
I told you I'm late for work, Stella.
Yeah. Sure. I'll let you get ready, Randall. See ya.
I stopped by Mary's.
How is she?
Oh, as well as can be expected, I guess. The reality of her being alone is just now getting to her, I think. Oh, there wasn't much mail forwarded from Eddie's office except for a few advertisements in this bill from the Apex Typewriter Company.
For one Greek keyed typewriter?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange.
Sure is. Mary know anything about that? Remember seeing any typewriter in Eddie's office besides that standard portable here?
No.
Neither do I.
Why would Eddie want a typewriter with a Greek keyboard?
It's a good question. Sounds good.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how beat up some of these things get when you let them out. Sometimes I think I'm renting to elephants. Anything I can do for you?
Yes, sir. Did you rent this machine?
Yeah, about a week ago. You returning it?
No, I'm Barnaby Jones, a private investigator, and my problem is that I want to figure out what Mr. Wheelock wanted with a Greek typewriter. You don't handle many of those, do you?
Try to make my living off Greek typewriters. I'd be on welfare right now.
Did he happen to mention what he wanted with it?
I don't... Oh, yeah. I remember now. He said something about he had to translate a note that was written in Greek.
Translate on a typewriter?
It's exactly what I said. As a matter of fact, I suggested to him that he take the note to somebody who spoke Greek. And he said he already did that. I had no choice except to fall back on the old businessman's creed.
What's that?
Never argue with a customer. I rented him the typewriter.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The young ones, Barnaby, are not like their mothers who came from the old country.
You gotta give him credit for trying.
You got a point there. All right, you convinced me. Be here at 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, thank you. Isn't that wonderful?
Sad thing about your friend Eddie Wheelock.
Yes, that's what I came to talk to you about, Achilles. Eddie stopped by to see you recently, didn't he?
Just last week.
Something about a message in Greek?
That's right. He wanted me to translate it for him.
Did you?
Barnaby, when I was a young man in the old country, I was always moving around from place to place, and not always by choice, mind you. But in my travels, I thought I mastered every Greek dialect known to man, until I saw Eddie's note. There was no way on earth for me to translate.
What was the difficulty?
The difficulty, my old friend, was that it didn't make sense. The letters were Greek, all right, but they didn't spell anything. Just so much, how do you say it? Mumbo mumbo?
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, mumbo jumbo. And nothing more. Eddie told me to keep trying, and then he left.
You still have the note?
He left me a copy. I've been showing it to some of my friends, but... Barnaby, believe me, mumbo jumbo.
He's got to be here somewhere. Somewhere in this note. Some kind of a code, something. Gotta figure it out.
It'll still be there in the morning. And you'll be a lot fresher, too.
I gotta keep at it, Betty. I'm so close.
Barnaby, didn't you get back to any of these people yet?
Where would I get the time?
Well, this Mr. Jensen called 3 times. He needs your help. He said it was very
I'll
important.
get back to him in the morning. Sorry, Betty.
Don't you see what's happening to you, Barnaby? You're becoming as obsessed with this case as Eddie was. He couldn't think of anything else either.
Yeah, you're right. See if you can get Jensen.
All right. It's his office phone. I'm not sure he's there yet, though. I guess he isn't in his office.
Eddie? Eddie, come here, quick. I think I've got it. What does it say?
I don't know. It's all Greek to me.
Betty Jones. It's a code. The killer's own personal code. You see, this note was typed on a Greek typewriter, but the words are really in English. Now, all the killer did was to substitute a Greek character for an English letter. Look at the 2 keyboards.
Keys are laid out the same.
Now, all we have to do is reverse the procedure and hit the equivalent of the Greek letter on the American machine. Now, here is the first letter. Hi. Just give me a couple of minutes and I'll have this thing translated.
Do you think Eddie broke the code, too?
I'm almost positive he did.
And that's why he was killed. In some ways, it's like opening Pandora's box. What does it say?
I worked with the butterfly. I have good reason to believe the killer worked here, Mr. Merrick, and possibly still does.
Well, then, Mr. Jones, obviously the police would have checked him out at the time of the murder.
Not necessarily. The police only checked out the people who went to the costume party.
Oh, but that was everyone who worked here, Mr. Jones. It was a company party at the Pavilion Hotel. Everyone was invited. I know for a fact that everyone came.
No one was left off this guest list for any reason?
Not that I can think of.
Did you see anyone at the party dressed in a tiger costume?
Oh, come on, Mr. Jones. It's been almost a year.
And besides, I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
Why?
Because I only stayed at the party for about an hour or so.
Did you get sick?
Not me, Randall Stone.
Who's Randall Stone?
He works in the computer room.
I don't find his name on the guest list.
That's right. I forgot. Randall wasn't invited because he was working the night shift then. I just saw no reason to send him an invitation.
But he got sick the night of the party.
Yes, and I had to come back here to find someone to take his place, which wasn't easy on such short notice.
Where's Randall Stone now?
In the computer room, I imagine. I'll find out for you. Randall Stone.
What do you know about Randall Stone?
Oh, not much, really. He knows his business, but he keeps pretty much to himself. He's just one of those people that nobody seems to pay any attention to.
Oh? Thank you. Well, isn't that a coincidence?
What?
Randall called in sick today, too.
What's his address?
Good morning. Can I help you?
Is Mr. Jones here?
No, I'm sorry he isn't. Would you like to leave your name and number?
Is it all right if I wait?
I'm not sure when he'll be returning.
It's very important.
Certainly. Have a seat.
Realize I wouldn't allow this under normal circumstances.
Normal circumstances?
If Randall hadn't been so rude to me lately. Listen, private detective or no private detective, I don't believe in spying on my tenants. What are you looking for anyway?
For what may be the final piece of a puzzle.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Randall's always solving puzzles.
I have a feeling he's also good at creating puzzles.
What's that? I didn't know Randall had a typewriter. I've never heard him use it. What kind of a typewriter is that?
Greek.
Well, I'm sorry, my father-in-law isn't back yet, and I've got a lunch date. I'm going to have to close the office, so if you'll leave your name and number, I'll have him call you when he gets back.
I said I'd wait.
Now, look, I
think we better go in there. We'll wait together. Why don't you say something? That's why you're so quiet. You're afraid. She was afraid, too. The little butterfly was so afraid she started to cry. Do you understand why I killed her?
I never understand why anyone kills.
Because she was so beautiful, and I wanted her so much. But she was a tease. You know what I mean. She used to make me think that she cared for me. She'd smile at me, come in my office sometimes and talk. And that's why I had to be at that costume party with her. She was always surrounded by her friends. So I waited till she left. And I followed her home. And I thought she was going to be happy to see me. She was angry. And she said terrible things to me. She called me a creep. Started laughing and kept on laughing until there was only one way that I could stop her.
Eddie, I found the missing piece. I know who the butterfly killer is.
It's a shame that information won't do you any good, Mr. Jones.
You must be Randall Stone.
That's right.
Well, if you've decided it's time to kill me the way you killed Eddie Wheelock, you're too late. I've already talked to the police. They have your name. They're out looking for you now.
I don't believe you.
Talked to your landlady, Stella. I used the phone in your apartment. It's all over, Stone. It's just a matter of time.
Time can be to my advantage, especially with her as a hostage. Your gun. Take it out. Put it on the desk. Slowly. Now turn around.
What do you hope to gain by this?
I'm just not ready to spend the rest of my life in jail. Come on.
You hurt her.
Now, you just sit tight, Jones. Don't try to follow us, and don't pick up the phone. Not if you ever want to see her alive again. Car's in the parking lot. Act normal.
You'll never get away with this.
For your sake, you better hope I do.
slide over on the other side. You're going to drive. Go on. Jones, hold it! Or you'll get it with your own gun.
Gun's not loaded, Stone. I don't go around with a loaded gun when I don't think I'm going to use it. Got the shells right here in my pocket. You want to see them?
Barnaby!
Stand right where you are. Get your hands up.
I thought you said it wasn't loaded.
Back where I come from, they'd say you'd been flim-flam.
Barnaby, you're quite a gardener yourself.
You know, when I was a boy, my father used to say there are three things that make a good gardener. Sharp tools, rich soil, and an occasional glass of cold lemonade while you're working. He knew what he was talking about.
Oh, wait till you see what we're having for lunch. Baked ham, sweet potatoes, and fresh corn.
You didn't have to go to all that trouble.
It's no trouble. I like having both of you here.
You're gonna be all right, Mary?
Yes. Even though it doesn't bring Eddie back, it helps knowing the truth about how he died. Thanks, Barnaby. Lunch will be ready soon.
I'll help you with the table.
Yes, sir. He really knew what he was talking about.